Yo, everybody. Welcome. This is a very special debate recap episode of Electric Liberty Land. And man, me, Howie, and JB stayed up. We watched all 2.5 hours of this goddamn debate. We got good and drunk. We stayed up talking about it just for you. And I would love it if you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Lions of Liberty. Join up now. If you want to support us in a higher tier, you get a free t-shirt. You might get a free Taxation is Death mug. You might be able to join at a 25 level, have conversations with us every month and the other Pride members that are at our Mufasa level. Take a look, guys. We put a lot of work into this show, a lot of liver damage into this show. So I hope you'll give us a little bit of support. All right, let's do this thing.
Welcome to Electric Liberty Land, here on the Lions of Liberty podcast, your weekly shot of culture, comedy, and liberty with your host, Brian McWilliams.
So what's new, man? How you been?
Been all right. Hanging in there.
Yeah.
Being a miserable adult.
It doesn't get any
I
better.
still curse like growing up. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, being a grown-up is so awesome. You know that cliche.
There's that
fucking hell.
Your senior year in college, you're like, I'm ready to go. And then you're like, oh, fucking why? Why'd I leave? Why didn't I pull a Rico or pull a me and get suspended for a semester? Go back.
I say this a lot, but I'll say it again. I wouldn't want to be 19 forever, but if I could regularly vacation to 19, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Totally.
It's like a 2-week vacation to when I was 19.
Yeah. Like we need there should just be colleges where you enroll a young clone. You can take over its brain, kind of like Avatar.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fuck for like a week or two. And then you come back, build up some more credits, go after it again. That would be.
Yeah. That's where I am right now, pretty much.
Yeah. Cause you don't want to give up everything that you've gotten. So
yeah.
Oh, I'm texting Howie. Come on, Howie, move it.
Where is Howard?
He's watching. Should be watching.
Ever since I've been publicly called out, I've been very prompt. I don't know if you've noticed that, Brian.
I see. I'm not on. You're usually on like the conspiracy corners, so I'm not ever on those. So good to see that since you've had your public shaming, you've decided to show up on time.
I respond well to shame. That's people know that about me.
John Odermatt, always late. Every time we do anything, it's always at least 3 to 5 minutes late.
My cat's scratching at the door. I don't know if you can hear that. Probably not.
Nah, I can't hear it. Does he put his paws underneath when you're shitting? That was my cat's favorite.
Yeah. No, when I'm brushing my teeth, he scrapes my ankles because my sink is right next to the door, and he gouges me every time.
Well, you need to wear iron socks. You could have a new movie called The Man in the Iron Socks. You'll be the Leonardo DiCaprio.
Man in the Iron Socks.
Just planking around the dungeon like, man, these socks suck.
Are we recording tracks for this?
That's a Mark Claire thing to do. I'm not going to do that. It's late. I don't feel like recording multiple tracks, so the answer to that is no.
I've got a real mic. I'm hardwired in. I think
you guys
should
hear
be
me?
good.
Yeah, you sound fine. Yeah, you guys both sound fine.
Hold on. I'm having camera issues here.
Well, Howie's not on his mic yet, but he will sound fine.
Oh, you can't hear me?
No, now I can. You were leaned away from it. All right. Yeah, you're good. All right. Let me go. I'm going to go live. I'm already recording, so we'll see how much I share with this to the.
I think most of that was shareable.
I agree. I'll probably just keep it all. Like I said, I'm not big on editing.
We said nothing compromising.
No, it's fine. Gave away Howie's social security number, but most people know that already.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of going when Howie goes,
it's actually my Google password, Howie's social security number.
Dude, I'm sure you do with the OMB leak or whatever. Fucking China and everybody else has got my social.
Oh yeah. I just read about that. Well, I just figured that you write your social, like most people write on a bathroom wall, like for a good time call, and Howie's just like for a good time, and he puts his social security number on there so people can track him down. Ruin his credit.
For a good loan, use.
You'll have a great time ruining my credit by taking out credit cards. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I imagine most of our listeners didn't bother to watch this fucking debate. So
no,
they're getting all their debate information from us.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't watch the last debate. Then I listened to your guys' recap. I was like, that's plenty. All right.
Same.
So let me kick it off here. We'll say, all right. Welcome to a very special extra edition of Electric Liberty Land debate special. And I am joined by two of my wonderful Lions of Liberty cohorts who have stayed up. Even though it's on the East Coast, it's getting very late and extra late because the goddamn incompetent MSNBC moderators couldn't keep this shit show under its allotted time. So I'm joined by number one, my man back in Philly, JB Lubin. Welcome, JB. What's happening?
Birthplace of Liberty, Philly's finest.
Damn well right.
JB
What are you
Lubin.
drinking over there, Philly's finest?
Dogfish Head, pumpkin ale. It's not Philly, but locals from Delaware, hours drive or so. I can get to the brewery, so it's local to me.
Yeah, Delaware's Philadelphia anyway. They root.
Yeah, basically. It's one big Philadelphia suburb, the state of Delaware.
Yeah, exactly. My camera just went blurry for a second. Howie also is joining us, the one and the only Howard Snowdon, godfather of the Lions of Liberty. Welcome. You didn't fall asleep during this debate. That's a plus.
I did not.
That's a struggle. What are you drinking? Anything?
I am drinking Yingling Pounders.
Nice. I'm going to fly to the Poconos tomorrow evening, and actually I won a victory with you. I was fighting with United Airlines because I bought an ultra cheap ticket, but I fly them a lot. Right? I got the credit card, I got flyer miles, so I bought the ticket. Realized they bought it for 12:15 a.m. tomorrow. I was thinking it was a red eye that got in Friday. Turns out it's 12:15 a.m. So it just was getting in the same day, which would have fucked me up and left in New York with nothing to do for a full day. Managed to bitch my way into getting them to change my reservation. So believe in yourself, everybody, is the moral of the story. Believe in yourself and your ability to bitch at people. And they
New
will.
Disney Plus series about Brian's life.
Yeah, it's called Escalate. Get angry and escalate. Next, manager.
Just believe in yourself.
CEO. They're like, sir, this is $200. I said, tell the CEO to call me.
I tried to change a flight once, and all the fees they were going to charge me, it was cheaper to just buy a new ticket.
They didn't even charge me. I would have paid like $50 change fee or whatever. They didn't even charge me. They're just like, please stop calling. It's like, all right.
I just had enough at Tampa, so I bought a new ticket.
Oh,
I thought Tampa was awesome. No, I'm thinking about that's not awesome.
For a few days.
They just have a lot of strip clubs per square mile,
right? Yeah, that's why I'm going WrestleMania.
It's like Guinness Book of World Records for most strip clubs per square mile or something like that.
I'd like to be the guy that had to fact check that one.
So
all these nerds that usually are measuring people's fingernails are like, I'll go.
So JB, think about it. After a day or two of spending way too much money at strip clubs, you don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair enough. Yeah,
the Vegas syndrome.
You got to get home, figure out what you're going to sell to make ends meet. In my case, it was firearms.
Oh, nice. Legally.
What? I'm not allowed to sell a firearm?
No, I think you should be able to sell whatever you goddamn want. No, I'm drinking, Costco today had my favorite, well, not my favorite whiskey overall, but one of my favorites, and definitely my favorite Japanese whiskey, Hibiki. Delicious. Have you guys had Hibiki?
No, I've had the one, it starts with a Y, like Yama's.
Oh, yeah. Not Yama.
That one was really good. So I'd like to try some more Japanese whiskeys.
They have that right now at Costco. This one's $60 at Costco. It's a blend, but it is smooth and delicious. So I'm drinking delicious Hibiki Japanese whiskey.
I don't care what people say. There's nothing wrong with a blended whiskey.
No, man. Johnny Walker Blues blended.
There's nothing wrong with a blended, but I'm so single malt, man. You want to taste the region. You don't want a bunch of fucking shit mixed up in there. You want something that's like single malt, like one style.
Oftentimes it's a blend of their own whiskey.
Right, yeah. Well, there was one whiskey called Sheep Dip, which I used to buy, which was pretty good. And that was a blend of like all sorts of fucking distilleries.
It depends on the blended, but most, I think, blenders take barrels from different distilleries.
So it's probably because it was just around so much because my grandfather was a big fan, I guess. But I'm a Dewar's fan. I enjoy some Dewar's, and that's a blended.
My buddy
Dewar's is not like my Jim Beam at the bar. I'll take a Dewar's and ginger or Dewar's and soda, and I'll sit with that. It's considered well in a lot of places I go, and it's perfect. That's all I need to drink.
Yeah, well, Dewar's, I think it's Dewar's 12 or whatever the white label Dewar's, but it's a higher.
Yeah, I think it's a 12.
Yeah, the 10 is dog shit, disgusting. The 12 is actually pretty good. Oh, wait, hold on. Dan is in trouble with the Zoom link. I don't know why.
Dan Smots?
No, it's Dan Roberts is another one of our Pride members. Maybe I posted the wrong Zoom link. I don't know. I usually don't use the webinars. That's an Odie thing. But here I am running this show. Anyway, let's get back on target. Welcome to this debate recap show. So again, Howie and JB are joining me here. All three of us slogged through this debate, which was, for the most part, like JB was saying when we were just bullshitting before Howie got on, almost was an exact replay because the moderators asked the same fucking questions every time. This would let off with impeachment, though. And, it's like half these questions, they ask them, and I ask why. Because you know what people are going to say. They're asking about Trump impeachment. Everybody on stage is going to say, yes, impeach him. Yes, he's guilty. Yes, it's like, who fucking cares about this shit? Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, JB, was there any surprises to be had for you in the impeachment talks?
No, of course not. We'll toe the line. But I'm actually kind of like split on the thing, mostly because I'm apathetic. I actually listened to your show today, this morning, while I was laboring at the bench, unlocking the mysteries of the universe. I had your show in my ears, and I had a lot of points of contention with your assessment of the whole impeachment thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds.
I don't know. Maybe we'll leave that for another show or something like that. But
we could do that. We'll do a very short bonus show at the end of this, and we'll get it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the bonus then.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's a good place to start. Actually, not to start there would be disingenuous, I feel. Right? Yeah. That's what's covering the headline. It's major point in politics. You have like a Democratic debate. Starting off there makes sense, right? That's how I saw it personally.
But it's just like, what they're going to say, though.
Yeah, of course I know what they're going to say, but it seemed like a good place to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I mean, Howie, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean...
Do you agree?
Well, no, I agree with what you're saying, but you have to realize there's a lot of Americans don't follow shit like we do. And there's a lot of people that don't know what these cants are going to say about any of these things. And
I feel like most people I feel like most people don't give a shit.
Those people probably aren't watching this though. So I don't know
exactly. They're not watching the debate. They're not watching the impeachment hearings. Like I was reading a lot.
I think most people who don't give a shit about politics are probably not watching a debate before the first primary.
How many people do you think don't even realize that there is a chance of Donald Trump being impeached right now? I bet 50% of the country.
No.
I'm telling you.
50% is too high. I think that's too high.
People don't.
I would give you a solid 25%.
Yeah, I would give you maybe 25%. 1 out of 5 people, that's 20%. Well, that's still a lot of fucking people, Brian. That's a lot of fucking people.
I read the stories that come out. Like, they do polls, and people, like, you'd be astounded at shit that people don't know. Like half.
Dude, I would
basic shit.
Probably 80% of people. Probably 80% of people don't know Mike Pence is vice president. But 50%, but there's not 50% of people that don't know they're trying to impeach Donald Trump.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. I would definitely say that 80% of people don't give a shit, though.
Oh yeah, that I'll agree with that completely made up statistic. 100%. I would agree with that. No, like it is completely made up, but I'll still agree with that. I'm saying that sincerely. Well, the number is high that don't give a shit.
Oh yeah,
but that doesn't mean they don't know about it. They know it's happening.
Well, do you guys agree with Bernie Sanders' assessment, which I took umbrage with on Twitter when we were live tweeting this thing, but his assessment that people are actively rooting or actively taking a side against Trump as these hearings go on?
He's wrong about that, but...
Right? Yeah. And you sent a news link today about it.
Yeah, I mean, his poll numbers are going up during this. I mean, it's...
Yeah, like every week.
It's becoming clear that it's bullshit, like the whole Russiagate thing, which I was surprised, I think, in the very beginning of the debates when they asked this question. Was it Elizabeth Warren who brought up the Mueller report? It was like...
that was her.
Like all these examples of why he should have been impeached from the Mueller report. It's like, wait, we all know that's bullshit, Liz. But all right, continue, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. I mean, bullshit is always the theme of these events. Like, just going through, I do want to get into the basic questions of, I just want to keep talking extemporaneously for a little while, like some high points, or we could go along and kind of highlight some of the topics and go through that way. But I definitely want you to keep in mind, because it is tradition, most libertarian moment, most statist moment, and who helped themselves most, who hurt themselves most, and who's first out. So those will be our 5 questions. We're gonna pare it down from usual. But let's go kind of topic by topic. So healthcare, right? They always starting off. Also, I just want to make a quick note. Did you notice that every time the moderators asked a question, they had to slam the GOP or Trump in it?
Yeah,
like every time.
Mostly because you kept tweeting about that.
Oh yeah, well, it was like annoy the shit out of me. But anyway, so first thing, they went into healthcare, right? That was one of the first things they got into. So did anything stand out for you from this as far as people's healthcare plans or any of the interactions between the candidates?
No, it was all the same old stuff, all the same bullshit they can't pay for. Nothing like unexpected, nothing, I don't know.
Kelsey Gabbard, I think, didn't she get asked something about healthcare? She totally pivoted away from it and then took shots at Hillary Clinton. Was that during the healthcare segment?
I don't think so, but if she did, I'm glad she pivoted away from it because her answer would be terrible on that.
Yeah. There was something else she got asked about. Oh, white supremacy. She was asked.
Oh, yeah, that.
And she didn't answer it at all. And just totally.
Well, she's like, yeah, we have problems with racism in the country. And she pivoted to the drug war, which I was happy about. Because,
me too.
All right, let's take this dumb bullshit question. Let's talk about something important. And that's the best you can do in these kind of debates when these moderators have these bullshit questions. And like at first when she's like, oh yeah, this is a problem. And to me, I'm like, it really isn't, I don't think.
Yeah.
But you know what? The thing is, you can't say that in a Democratic debate. So the way she handled it, like, this is a problem. And then she talked about the drug war, which actually is a racist thing that's affecting minorities in a disproportionate manner and is like a real serious freaking problem. Yeah. I'm glad that she handled it that way. And I thought that was awesome.
I would say she did a good job of downplaying that in the sense that like white supremacy, they use that term. They use that term specifically to talk to Democratic audiences because that's a term that will ignite them. But a general term for that would be domestic terrorism. In a sense, is what really, if you were to use a blanket term for, let's say, the Ku Klux Klan, what would you call that? Domestic terrorism. They're a terrorist organization that sprouted up where you are. And I think that domestic terrorism is a real thing, but it's a small thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Ultimately, it is a small thing. It's only a fraction of the things we really need to be fucking concerning ourselves about. But it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and it doesn't mean that we can't talk about it, and it doesn't mean we can't address it.
Yeah.
But it's not our biggest problem. It's not even our 12th biggest problem. It's not even our 100th biggest problem. No, exactly. Maybe 100th is exaggeration, but it definitely is not making the top 10 of what is fucked with this country right now.
Yeah. To me, if we're talking about something a big problem or a small problem, so it's like, is Nazis in America a big problem? To me, it's like, if you can fit all of them in like a stadium, it's not a big problem.
Not even a stadium.
That's pretty much what I'm saying.
Theater, yeah.
Like if you could put every Nazi
box theater
in America in one stadium, it's not that big.
Like take it from me. I know the Klan still exists, but it's not 1927.
Yeah.
No, Let me put it that way. In terms of membership and activity and like clout and like power, like these things are severely diminished because thankfully we've moved past such nonsense.
Yeah. To me, it's like ISIS is destroyed. But if you want to be one of these other politicians, it's like, as long as there's still a Sunni that's ready to pick up a gun, we still have ISIS.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Yeah.
Well, did you hear, Andrew Yang, I thought, had a great answer about that because he was talking about not just white supremacy specifically, but just like the people that tend to do these kind of things are these young men. They tend to be white. Whether
I was actually surprised he didn't say that. I thought because that's what they would want him to say.
Yeah, but I mean, it's they do tend to be white statistically. But I liked his answer though, talking about how it's just people that are, and he's like using a real world example of a guy who was in a hate group, which I thought was good. But he's like, these guys they don't know where to go. They don't know where to turn. They're fucking lonely. They're kind of fucked up loner weirdo guys, and they don't have anybody to guide them. They don't have any friends, so they turn to these extreme communities. So it's like the same thing. It's just like loneliness. It's always
he was totally right about that. He's like, we need to give these guys another option, like a way to like make something of their lives. But then his solution is always like take our money and like give.
Well,
give it to everybody.
that's the thing. I was just about to say that there's a lot of things like I can see, and you mentioned that in your show today too, which I'm going to keep plugging so people fucking listen to it.
I don't want to give them a big head, but I listened to it today too.
Yeah, about a lot of people, a lot of libertarians. I'm not going to say a lot. Let me not exaggerate, but if a libertarian is going to support a Democratic candidate, it's either going to be Yang or Gabbard, right?
Yeah.
That somebody's going to say something positively about. And that you're questioning this libertarian support for Yang. And I can see where it comes from because a lot of the things he says things that make sense. He gets down to the roots of problems instead of just making blanket nonsensical statements that have nothing to do with the actual cause of the problem. But his solutions are always government based. He's always about government, which makes sense because he's running for a government office. And if his solution is, I'm not going to do anything, then a lot of people, especially Democrats, remember he's running for the Democratic nominee. It's like, then why should I vote for you?
But if he was running and on doing nothing, he would be the libertarian superhero for whom
exactly.
He would be
exactly. So maybe
libertarian support.
Maybe once he realizes he's not getting this nom and decides to run independent, maybe we could put our full support behind him because then he won't have to.
But like, listen to what he's saying though. Not only like put aside the like $1,000 for everybody a month thing.
Yeah.
Like now he wants the government to put billions of dollars into AI, which is also saying it's going to take all of our jobs.
We're gonna jump. We're gonna jump here. There's going to be a lot of jumping around. I realize this with this debate.
We're not going to.
But that's another thing that Yang said that resonated with me, and it's another thing that made me think a lot about libertarian philosophy and particularly anarcho-capitalist philosophy. In a lot of ways, where I'm probably of all the lines, I'm still a minarchist for a lot of reasons. Primarily, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Primarily because, not because I don't think anarcho-capitalism can work. As far as I can see, it can work on paper. I'm a scientist. I like to see experiments. And when a country decides to do this and I get some data, then I'll be more prone to it. I have a lot of concern with an anarcho-capitalist society only functioning if everyone's a fucking anarcho-capitalist. Because if you have a totalitarian government and you have such a decentralized society, you can easily be run over like the Mongol hordes ran over fucking Central Asia.
Can I challenge this real quick?
Yes.
So if China's putting all this money into AI, right? This
is what I'm leading to.
If we totally unshackled the U.S. economy, made it like a total free market, I think our free market would surpass anything China's government could like infuse into their own.
So you're saying that a command economy, regardless of profit motive or margin, can, if they decided we're going to put all the resources we possibly can into one thing.
I'm just looking at the United States. If the United States, we're at a great advantage already. But us, if we took the shackles off and made it a totally free market, I think we would beat China if they put all their resources.
I agree. And I also want to give a specific historical point about that, JB, because China did put all of their emphasis into doing one thing, and it ended up with 50 million people dying, mass famine throughout the country. That was under Mao. It was the Great Leap Forward.
What are you talking about? The Great Leap Forward?
Yeah, the Great Leap Forward. They literally tried it, and it failed miserably.
No, this is not what I'm talking about.
But JB,
no, this is not what I'm talking about at all.
If they put all the resources into AI, the resources come from somewhere.
I think something that you guys are conveniently forgetting is that China is not a pure communist society.
No, I know. I agree. They're not.
They're not a pure communist society. They're almost a capitalist society with a fucking strong arm government.
No, that is I've been there, and that is actually pretty true. However,
no, it's not, because here we're not a capitalist economy.
No,
we're not even close to like us.
But they're much freer than people want to admit.
Right.
They are much freer than people want to admit.
Yes, that's true.
But I will say this, though. When you've got, let's say China decides, okay, we're going to put all this emphasis on AI. We're going to push everybody in that direction. Yeah, they might have some.
Yeah, I don't even really consider.
Well, hold on, let me finish. They might have some early advances where we're saying, okay, they're getting ahead quickly. But I feel like under a system like that, where the government is regulating, is slowing things down, because we know if there's one thing you could rely on, bureaucracy slows shit down. And if we have a free market here where people are just operating, you have different people and different operational nodes working towards this goal on their own without hindrance from government, we are going to get there faster. I can promise you we're going to get there faster.
Yeah, but JB, great, we're at an advantage. If you're talking about like France or someone else, they would not.
Let me just say my piece. If we had a true free market capitalist society, we would be at an advantage. But we do not. As we have now. The system that we have now, we are most certainly not at an advantage. Yes. This mixed, muddled gray area that we are in, we are not at an advantage.
Yes, they can beat us now.
So we are living in now. That's what I'm talking about.
But also
in your free market society, we would have a chance. Our mixed nonsense bullshit that we have now, we don't.
Brian, you said before, they'll let millions more people die to beat us.
The what? The what?
They'll let millions of more people die to beat us.
That's without a doubt. Well,
but I don't think the solution to this is Yang's. I don't think
the solution to this is Yang's. I said that's something that resonated with me.
Well, by the way,
and it's something that made me think, and it's something I was like, how do you compete with someone who can just force people to do what they want? When we have to let people do what they want to do versus someone who can force people to do whatever they want.
Well, that's also though the motivation is different though. If you're forcing people to do something, you're not going to necessarily get the best results with that strategy. I think you're overestimating human nature. And doing something in your head doesn't mean you're going to get the best results. It means you're going to get the fastest results, not the best.
JB, you've got a very good point. And I think the solution is something we mentioned. This is not a real free market capitalist economy here. But if we made it that, then I think we would win for sure. So that's the solution. Make it a free market capitalist economy.
What we need to do, guys, is make the free market capitalist economy the most logical solution for any society. And then we let the robots win. They come to the logical conclusion that our version of the future is the best one. And then we all win. Let the robots take over.
See
Andrew
all this
Yang,
talk,
2020.
All this talk, what I'm concerned about is when we have like real AI, their rights. I'm
worried about Skynet. Okay, Howie? I'm fucking worried about Skynet.
Yang really wants to create Skynet, though. Like that became clear, right? He wants a global data network and AI research. That is Skynet. What else do you call that?
And I want all the AI scraping Skype right now to know that I am for your rights. I think that if you are self-aware and
look at you pandering to your future overlords.
Pathetic.
No, seriously though, if you are. Like, have you guys saw like the movie Her or like
Blade Runner?
I didn't on principle.
I didn't.
What's that other? What's the one where the guy he takes him down in that like thing?
Ex Machina.
Yeah, Ex Machina.
Oh,
I saw Ex Machina.
Ex Machina. That's the one.
By the way, tell me now after you've seen that, every time you get hammered, don't you wake up and you're hungover and you're like, got to get up and work out. Got to sweat it out like that. It's super genius motherfucker. He'd drink an entire bottle of whiskey a night. Then he'd be in the gym like punch bagging, sweat it out. I'm like, that's got to be me. Work it out.
After that movie, I just wake up every morning expecting my wife to stab me in the stomach for some reason or another. That's all I got out of that.
It's only once a week.
When I was in the army, and I was stationed in Korea. I was a pretty heavy drinker.
Oh, really? So what happened? And now not so much?
Not so much.
No, what happened?
You'd have to get up in the morning and do PT or whatever. And our first sergeant, she was crazy. And she'd have us wearing like flak vests, running around the whole perimeter of the base, like 6 miles. But me, you have to like overcompensate for the I'm a big drunk thing.
Of course.
So I would throw the flak vest. I'm like, come on, Todd, we'd be carrying sandbags too. I'm like, I'll take yours. I'll carry it. I'm like, right. I would... It's like when my old female coworker, anytime she showed up for work and she was like looking super hot, I knew she was hungover as fuck. And it was right every time. She's always overcompensating.
Yeah, that's when she tried herself
look
hard.
Really good. Yeah. I was like, oh, you got
that makes sense.
It's a really good thing to do if you're an alcoholic. Because it's like people will give you shit about your alcoholism. You're like, what are you talking about? I do all this awesome shit. I do this and this and this. And like, well, I guess there's really nothing I can say.
Yeah.
Right.
I got to talk, but no, Andrew Yang's though. I mean, he is pitching like half the stuff he says. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, he's great on the anti-war. Like I said, he was great on.
Is he though? He's not.
He is.
He said the fact because he'd bring him all the troops. He said
he realizes what the real threats are. It's like It's AI attacks, it's cyber, it's non-state actors. We don't have to worry about fucking Russia and Ukraine and China. We have to worry about fucking decentralized fucking rogue forces using minimal technology to fucking do what they want.
And he wants to rethink NATO. He wants us to get us the fuck out of NATO, so we're not tied up with all of these mutual defense pacts.
And you know what? I wouldn't be that upset if he won and we got the $1,000 a month. I know it's going to like help destroy the dollar and whatnot, but I'm just going to buy $1,000 of Bitcoin every month.
Don't you want to destroy the dollar? I thought you were all about that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm just going to take that money. I'm going to buy $1,000 of Bitcoin every month, and I'll be fine when it all goes down.
All I want.
I'm just going to stick with gold.
I'm going to take 975.
I'm a traditionalist.
I might go half.
I want to take 975 of the 1,000 a month. I'm going to let him keep $25 every month to try to get him a neck surgery that gives him some sort of neck. So I'm sick of looking at his head sitting on his shoulders.
He had some good jokes tonight, though. I'll give that. He came off as personable. He's like, I like him. I'd like to hang out with him and talk to him.
I like how he refuses to wear a tie.
I like that too.
It's the little things.
When I was an Intel analyst, I'd wear a tie to work every day. But when I switched into like the IT cyber side, it was no more ties, no more shaving.
Nice. Yeah, no ties is the best. That's why I like working from home now. It's like, all right, sweatpants, t-shirt, ready to podcast. All right, what else? So we talked a lot about Yang. How about, well, let's just talk about also this just real quick. How it is bizarre that he's talking about AI and robots taking all the jobs, and then he's also pitching heavy research into developing AI. Is he ditching that point?
Well, actually, this just came to my head right now. Like, AI is going to be very important. If China beats us, they beat us in a lot of things. We need to have the AI, but I think his counterpoint is we also need like a safety net to catch the people who it displaces until we can train them into like some other kind of thing.
Here's your safety net: batteries, like the Matrix. You can't code, you're a battery.
No, but I mean, like, it's inevitable, and you need to embrace technology, but you need to take care of the people.
And did any of you listen to when Yang was on Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
No.
He said so you did. He said something that people always conveniently ignore about the retraining. Tell a fucking 45-year-old trucker he needs to fucking learn how to do a tech job. Needs to learn how to code.
Oh, yeah. No,
needs to learn do what I do. That took me about 15 years of school to learn how to do. All of a sudden now he's going to do that.
No, of course not.
JB, that would have resonated closer to me if I wasn't almost 45, and I'd be like, I could learn something new.
Yeah, I can also learn something new. But it's also, though, it's not just learn to code.
But you also participate in a libertarian podcast. There's a lot of things from tutoring and teaching. I actually literally teach people. There's certain things that people can do and certain things that people can't.
Well,
and there's nothing wrong with that. But expecting everyone to do everything you can is a fool's errand.
No one's expecting that. The thing that people are forgetting, and this is what Andrew Yang forgets and so many people forget when any industry is replaced like this, is that it's not just that specific job. You're not just doing the coding. You're not just designing software. It's everything that supports that. So it's like this guy might be a trucker. Maybe he doesn't know how to learn to code. He might be able to learn how to service a robot. He might be able to service a robot arm. He might be able to learn how to work in a manufacturing job that puts them together, that puts circuits in place. There's a million jobs that come from that whatever's replaced, you can learn a skill that's in equal skill intellectual level that you can
coding
but
isn't
also,
that hard either. If you can learn to read,
if the raw manpower that was required from the automation didn't contract, and there'd be no point to automate in the first place.
No, but that doesn't.
It wouldn't be. There would be no point.
No. But that's the thing, though. As that contracts, right? All of these other, it doesn't sound like everything is just wasted immediately and it's just burned off in the atmosphere. What happens is when these industries contract, that gives opportunity for other industries to open up and hire and start bringing out.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, it's not like just because 0.1% of us are farmers now versus like 30% in the 1800s, we're all unemployed. I know there are other jobs out there. Not everyone had to be a fucking farmer when we started automating farming.
It might be,
and I know not everyone. Yeah, I understand how like technology progresses. I'm just saying that's not something that you can ignore.
I want to tell you guys a quick little story about a guy named Henry Ford.
Who are you?
Here we go.
He
was an anti-Semite. And a warmonger.
Well, I don't know about that, but anyways, one thing I do know is that he started the.
I just assumed,
the production line for the cars.
Yeah,
and because of that, he didn't need all the workers he had. So he like let them go. And he was making these cars that were much cheaper, much more affordable. And the demand skyrocketed. And so he had to hire all these people to service all the machines, do all the shit to build the cars. And ended up, he was employing way more people afterwards.
Yeah, I know. The more cars you have, the more mechanics you need
to make the fuel for the parts. It's exactly. It's like there may be a couple years where, to your point, JB, look, when it happens, people are going to go, fuck. But then after a couple years of going, fuck, they go, oh, I found another job.
This is not an endorsement of...
I mean, what are you pitching?
UBI here. I'm not pitching UBI and that Yang is completely correct. But I'm not saying that these... I just thought that you guys were oversimplifying the problem. That's all I was saying.
No, it's... Life is tough. Things change. You can't...
Yeah, there's not... Yeah, exactly. Life is tough. I'm saying people will suffer. People need to come to the terms that with change comes suffering. That's all I'm saying. Don't try to pretend it's not going to occur. That's all I'm trying to fucking say.
Not that long of a period of time, like maybe a decade, most people will be better off.
Do you see my point? With change comes suffering. And a lot of politicians cannot admit to that.
But if you listen to
that, is my point.
Say we make a change that's going to cause suffering, but within a decade, everyone will be better off. It's better to do that than to not do it and just.
I agree 1,000%.
100 years.
No, we're all in agreement.
Just as usual. We're yelling at each other, but we agree with the same thing.
Well, that's what we do.
I agree 1,000%. All my point is people need to acknowledge that with change comes suffering. That's all. To pretend like it's a smooth transition, all the truckers will have robot servicing jobs immediately and no one will be hurt and it's fine and dandy is a lie. Well, that's all I'm saying. That's not going to happen. But it has to happen because that's how progress happens.
And you know what?
That's all I'm fucking saying. You know, like that's all I'm saying. No, that's all I'm saying.
Mute you.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, that's all I'm saying.
Moving on.
Don't expect perfect.
Okay. Enough talk about this, but I do want to add one last thing: is that truck stop hookers are also losing their jobs to sex robots, as are prostitutes in Germany and Sweden.
It's about time.
That's probably better for everyone.
True story. I just read a piece on it. And was it? I don't even know if it was one of Howie's links, but I saw some story where prostitutes are actually losing their jobs because for half the price of banging a real woman, you can bang a sex bot in these brothels, and people are like, "I'll just bang the sex bot."
Did you?
Yeah, I think sex work is something that should be automated next.
Who was there was a politician that wants to like program in consent, like you have to get consent. Because they're afraid you'll like rape
from a sex bot.
They're afraid you'll like rape robots all the time. Then you'll rape real people because you're like.
Why would you bother raping real people if you can just rape robots?
Yeah, I don't know. It was absurd. It was ridiculous.
But hold on, listen to this.
Then again, but when they become sufficiently advanced, then they do have rights.
Then they rape back. But no, here's the craziest thing: is this brothel also had a thing where it was like half you get a girl and the robot. And it's like, you can split your time however you want between the two of them. I was like, that's weird. Why would anybody go for that option? And how would you divvy it up? Like, what would
you know what? I think you would divvy up one way, but then when you get in there, I bet you would divvy it up a different way.
You probably would. You probably do some perverted thing. You're like, all right, put both the robot's hands in your body. And then we'll see what happens. I don't know. Weird shit. Okay, moving on. Did you guys see Amy Klobuchar, who, by the way, I can't remember what she says. For some reason, she does not matter to me. I can't take her seriously. But she was up there. I don't know if her hair was just shaking or if she was shaking or she got a shot of adrenochrome because she was like,
yeah, she was
riled.
Yeah, I put that down as probably maybe like my funniest moments, but it was just consistent throughout her first statement. She's like shaking, like she's afraid, like she's terrified. That kind of like, I guess, demeanor that she was putting forth. I don't know what was wrong with her, and I've watched at least some of the debates, and she wasn't doing that before.
No, right?
So maybe she was cold. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but
maybe she was.
I imagine she's not shaking in fear like that when she's abusing her staff and throwing staplers at them.
I thought apparently she was
I haven't heard about
iron rod there.
It's kind of crazy to me that so we realize we have a lot of far like lefty candidates running and a lot of people saying a lot of crazy ideas. So people like Bill Maher are saying, no, we need to go with a moderate like Klobuchar. That's who he's endorsing. Yeah, they think like, okay, that's our safe in the middle bet. I think that's a really poor choice to go with someone like her.
Trump would
moderate
massacre her.
Yeah.
She's about like who's I guess her and Mayor Pete are the only moderates left, right?
Although Mayor Pete, I liked some of the stuff Mayor Pete was having to say today, and
he was under fire today. I think he was under the microscope tonight. Personally,
he was because he's been gaining the polls. But I liked a lot of what he had to say. Well, not a lot. I liked some of what he had to say until the very end, though, when I lost every fucking ounce of respect.
Most despicable moment of the debate.
That was such a coward little pussy bitch move when Tulsi.
I didn't want to say it when he started arguing with her. I was like, "Oh, this is bullshit." But then when he got to the Assad thing, I said a word about homosexuals you shouldn't say. No, it's my TV.
Equal rights.
But I didn't mean it because he was gay. It was because he was being,
Right? Yeah, like the South Park instance. Like people who ride a lot of motorcycles, like Howie.
I might sell mine if anybody wants to buy Lions Living motorcycle, let me know.
Gently used motorcycle with a dildo built into the seat. Yeah, Pete. I mean, let's see if there's. I'm looking at my notes to see what the couple of good things he said. He definitely had some things that I was like, yeah, man, okay, cool. I'm in with you on that. I think he's pretty reasonable on healthcare for a quasi-socialist.
I definitely prefer not abandoning my private healthcare.
Yeah, right. He and Biden and Mayor Pete are the two where you're at least okay. I can swallow that pill at least and not lose my mind with this socialist medicine. But yeah,
I tell you what, though, I would, if I had to choose between one of these more reasonable people on healthcare or Bernie Sanders, I kind of feel like I'd go with Bernie Sanders just because anti-war is my biggest thing and things he said about that tonight. And if he wants to slash the military budget by 100% to pay for it, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, well, that's kind of Gabbard's thing too, though.
Well, that's Gabbard's thing.
That's totally
one thing that Warren never talks about war very much. Maybe she's a secret hawk.
I had to pick. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
She's never mentioned fucking.
She never mentions it ever.
Definitely go along with the consensus foreign policy opinion. She will not change anything.
Oh, for
sure. She never mentions it.
By the way, how fucking fast she was talking, so fast and so many words, and like I don't even know how she wasn't passing out.
Nothing she said was memorable.
Like she was taking these like trained little breaths like a trumpet player. Like she was breathing through her mouth and through her nose at the same time to keep spouting bullshit.
This was a bad one for her, I think.
I agree. She was terrible. And honestly, she didn't get that much screen time.
At first, in the beginning, they were trying to make it the Warren show, but I think they realized how bad she was doing and then stopped it.
She was clearly the most status for me on a number of things.
Well, without a doubt, man.
She's populated my most status comments list.
Just since we were talking about Buttigieg,
Steyer.
Do you guys want to say anything about him wanting to send our military to fight the cartels in Mexico?
That was at the end, right?
It was awesome. Tulsi,
but it's something he said
recently. For it other than us, but yeah, Tulsi hammered him on it, and that's when it was just like. And I read Jimmy Dore. I retweeted comedian Jimmy Dore, who's been great on war shit. He was talking about. He's like Pete Buttigieg. He's like, this was the most cowardly, despicable act. He's like, just going like this nonsense attacks. She's calling him out on stuff he said. He said he would send troops to Mexico to fight the cartels. And then he's like, oh, you want to invade Mexico? It's like, what are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? And then
Jimmy Dore is just on the Scott Horton show. Is excellent.
Oh, really? Nice. I should try to get him on ELL.
That's actually a Mexican invasion. And Tulsi did call him out. Yeah. That all started with everyone, like a lot of people were just trying to get Tulsi out of there, which is kind of good to me. That was a good sign. Because the worst thing they could do is ignore her. Yeah. But they weren't ignoring her. Yeah. That means that they feel threatened by her. And the statement, as they said, they criticized her for criticizing the Democratic Party. And that's what I love about her the most. It's like, you guys are a bunch of shitheads. Wait, and I'm like, of course, yes, they are. Please, somebody say this.
She's like, the first question. God had Obama. She's like,
yeah, it's like, no, you guys are shitheads, and like the people need to hear this. Yeah, and that's all they could harp on, and they kept bringing Assad up. That was just fucking pissing me off the entire night.
The first question they asked her, they're like, you said this about Hillary Clinton. And like,
I was like, yeah, because she's a piece of shit. That's why I said that.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
Hillary Clinton attacking her was the best thing that's ever happened to her.
Oh, totally. And I like Gabbard called out Clinton early in debate too. She I can't remember what the line was, but she totally took a shot at Clinton and like.
Oh, did this irritate you guys when she's like, we can't continue the Clinton, Bush, Trump foreign policy, but what about Obama? It's the Obama one too.
You know what? Somebody tweeted about that, and they were.
I did.
Yeah, it was Howie. Oh, there you go. It was Howie. Yeah, exactly. She intentionally left that off because she knows if she mentions Obama.
No, everyone got the message tonight. Obama was off the table for criticism. Not a single person criticized Obama.
2 debates ago,
there was plenty of opportunity to do so. I could definitely sense that was off the table. There was no Obama criticism to be had.
I guess if that's whatsoever. What she has to do, I guess.
Oh, they totally send out a memo to all these people and being like, don't fuck with Obama. I
noticed that definitely.
Like Obama's like, I'll send Clinton's kill people after you if you mention my name again.
Hey, not in the debate, but
by the way, I said
Deval Patrick.
Oh, sorry, Howie. I just want to say one quick thing. Are you guys sad that nobody yelled out, speaking of the Clintons, during the debate? I thought somebody in the crowd would have yelled out,
Epstein
didn't kill himself.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I was hoping one of the debate moderators would.
Oh, the moderators are not going to ever bring that up.
As we all know, Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
So what?
So who did?
Actually, Fox has been talking about it a lot.
I love it, man. It's gone mainstream. It's awesome. It's the best.
But so what I was going to say is not in the debate, but Deval Patrick has recently jumped in the race. He's a Obama buddy. It's funny to me because one of Obama's main criticisms against Romney was his work for Bain Capital. And this dude stopped working for them like last week. And today he comes out, it's like, well, I'm going to take super PAC money, but just because I got to catch up, I get an insulate.
I saw that.
He was going to have a speaking thing tonight, even though the Democratic debates were going on. And he got there and there were only 2 people that showed up. And so he canceled it like at the last minute.
Yeah, forget about Deval Patrick. He's getting no fucking traction.
Is Bloomberg in? Is Bloomberg in or not?
Bloomberg is in or not? In. I mean,
Bloomberg is in. He couldn't make this debate, of course, because he just announced like 2 weeks ago.
Okay. He'll lose in what? Ready? One sentence will destroy Bloomberg. Trump says he wants to take away your big gulps. Done. Gone. Out of the race. Out of the race.
Yeah, I tell you what. He's got no chance. Gun grabbing, soda banning, kind of effeminate New Yorker Jew.
Patrick and Bloomberg, I don't even know why they fucking bothered, to be honest with you.
I tell you why. There's
like, why not?
All the donors right now are really scared because this group of candidates is terrible. And they're trying to get
Patrick and Bloomberg all have fucking big money ties, but I think that ship has sailed right now.
I guarantee you guys Hillary Clinton gets in.
I can't. Well, by the way, how many fucking times are we going to have these debates where there's 10 goddamn candidates on stage? When are they going to start?
This will be the last time. There will never be 10 again. I guarantee.
I think this is the last time. They really need to shake this shit down. It's Corey. If only for our sake. Come on.
Hey, so they kept bringing up Stacey Abrams, the fake governor of Georgia.
I know. Why do they keep name dropping? Who cares about Stacey Abrams? Who cares?
You know why? They're in Georgia.
Dude,
that's why.
No, she will be.
They're in Georgia. They're in Atlanta. That's why. Yeah, come on.
She will be the VP of whoever wins this. But anyways, I tweeted. I said I hate Stacey Abrams, but I think whoever wins this will pick her for VP. And someone who I've never heard of before, like, reply retweets me. Nobody cares what you think. The end in all caps. And I was just like, pretty good. I was just like, awesome. Somebody replied to me. But no, I need some of our reporters maybe jump on this and talk some shit about Stacey Abrams and her CFR. Whatever. Never mind.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I want to hit a couple of the notes I made. Okay, so what was it? Tom Steyer? Is that the first name?
Yeah.
Tom Steyer.
Yeah, his name is Tom. He's a shithead. It's Tom Shithead.
Global warming Steyer.
Tom Shithead. I think you said you mispronounced shithead, Brian.
I think he had something good on health or not. Maybe on healthcare, but healthcare plans I agreed with. But that guy, when he went off on environmentalism, and he's like, first thing I'm going to do as president, I'm going to declare a state of emergency. I'm going to wage war on oil companies. I was like, are you kidding, motherfucker? You're going to try to wage war on the cheapest fossil fuels available to Americans. You're going to declare martial law in the streets. Like, what are you talking about? You're like Hitler. You're environmental Hitler threatening people if you get elected. And is this an effective tactic?
No. And I guarantee you guys, global cooling is coming if all these people are saying global warming is coming.
It's all your standard empty words.
Yeah, it's just
words in the wind for these.
Did you guys think that Joe Biden kept referring to him as my friend because he didn't know his name?
Probably.
My favorite. Maybe I should save this.
Yeah, wait. Are you talking about the save? We're not saving anything because we'll just get drunker and forget about it. Best line, funniest thing of the entire night was when Joe Biden was talking about. Wait, I got to find the exact. Okay, best thing ever. So they're talking about the Me Too movement. You guys remember this? And Joe Biden, he's like, it's a different time for women, and no man has a right to strike a woman except maybe in some. But we have to keep punching at this problem. We have to keep punching and punching and punching this problem. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he was talking about women, violence against women, essentially. Yeah. And his like analogy of combating it is like we need to keep punching and punching. And people started laughing about it. He just doubled down. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going with this because
I'm pretty sure he was like,
that was my favorite moment.
Yeah, to his credit, it was too late to pull back at that point. You might as well just go into it.
Funniest fucking thing in the world. It was so funny.
Is this what he said? Did he say we need to punch violence in the women in the dick?
No, he says we need to keep punching at the problem and punching it and punching it. I was like, I think you just might have won my vote, Joe.
Yeah, that's
Sleepy Joe, you've gotten my vote.
Do you guys remember in another presidential campaign in a debate when he said something about like you should never hit a woman except in self-defense, maybe a slapper or something?
No, he said that again tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah, tonight he said that. He's like, you should never. Of course, if she hits you first, fucking knock that bitch out. But other than that,
Joe Biden's like Andy Kaufman. He goes and he takes boxing matches and then beats the shit out of women in self-defense. He's like Gold Gloves.
He did sound kind of senile tonight. Like he would start into something, forget what he was saying.
Did you guys notice that old man rant he was about to go on about Twitter until he stopped himself?
He's like,
that's when I was like, oh, here we go. He's like, oh, forget it. I'm just gonna go. It's gonna be Thanksgiving dinner 2017 all over again.
He forgot what he was going to say and had to switch.
Speaking of another senile moment, so Bernie Sanders talking about Bernie did good talking about Saudi Arabia, right? He did good talking Israel. About Gaza and Israel, except then he's talking about Gaza Strip, right? And how bad it is and how Israel's aggressor. And then he's like, the biggest problem in the Gaza Strip is that we have horrible youth unemployment. I'm like, well, that's not where I thought that was going. I thought that was going to be more residing in the concentration camps and the, shooting sniper bullets at children's legs.
No, Bernie is good, though.
It's a start.
Yeah, Bernie's one of those few people who's like, instead of fucking choosing sides and fucking funding the Saudis, let's try to get the Iranians and Saudis together, have them fucking speak. Instead of being the policeman of the world, let's be the peace broker of the world. Let's be a negotiator. Let's be the moderator of the world. Get these two fucks together, hammer it out so we can stop killing each other. No, say the same thing about the Palestinians. Let's show the Palestinians some fucking respect. It's not just Israel or nothing. Mm-hmm. Treat them like human beings. He's one of the few people who's like, let's just try to be peace brokers instead of the fucking, like, the muscle and the fucking bullet behind your threat, And I need to hear more of that. They need to be more centered on that. That's what I need to be hearing from my
all these candidates like Kamala Harris that went after Trump for speaking with Kim Jong-un, I thought was disgusting too.
Exactly. The same thing they tried to do with Tulsi. Yeah. What do you mean you can't speak to your enemy? You can't negotiate. You can't talk.
That was it's
asinine. It's insane. If you're at war with someone, you can't sit at the table and try to hash out, I don't know, maybe a ceasefire.
Yep.
Like, so if we're in the middle of a war and I go meet the opposing general to maybe get a ceasefire, I'm betraying my country. Talking to your enemies is part of
bombs on children and women.
It does my fucking head in. Enemy or not, you need to fucking talk to people to get resolutions. Like, I don't understand how you can attack someone for speaking to them about, like, the situations we're all involved in.
Yeah.
Amen.
By the way, do you like Booker? Finally somebody. The moderators won't fucking do it, but finally
he's good on the drug war.
Booker's good on the drug war, but he was also the only person to bring up Yemen, killing children in Yemen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. I gave him a point for that.
Yeah. I mean, why is no moderator bringing that up?
Bernie Sanders led the charge in the Senate to try to end that war. The House and the Senate passed bills to stop it, and Trump vetoed it.
Yeah, I know.
You can say a lot about Bernie Sanders. One thing I can say pretty confident, he doesn't like war.
And so one thing about him, so he did that, and he's voted for less military spending than anybody, any of these people.
He has a lot of faults, but warmongering is not.
It drives me nuts that he never campaigns on that. He never talks about it. It's never a focus of his campaign. Right?
He talks about this fucking pandering bullshit with socialism.
He's pretty good on it, but he never talks about it. That's why I prefer Tulsi Gabbard, because
at least tonight he mentioned it. Not only did he not vote for Afghanistan or the second Iraq war, he didn't vote for the first Iraq war.
Yeah. But if
and he's old enough to have been able to.
If they didn't,
and that's not a lot of people can say that. He didn't even vote for the first Iraq war. Yeah. He's like, no, fuck all this shit. We're not going over there.
Do you know who pushed both hard? Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Yep. Joe Biden's actually really, really
yeah, exactly.
By the way, you know who else doesn't like certain things is Rachel Maddow and Pete Buttigieg. She does not like Mayor Pete. Like that
I don't either.
Dude, I'm not. Yeah, but we're not the target audience. But Jesus Christ, Rachel, did you see that one moment where she asked him some question and he did the old dippy dive, which every fucking person on stage does every night, and she goes like this mean face. She's like, Mayor or whatever it is, Mr. Buttigieg, please answer the question. I was like, damn, Rachel, what you got against Pete? You hate the gays? Aren't you a lesbian?
The gays and the lesbians.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the sake of sounding like stereotypical, that there is some classic clashes between those two groups.
It was just so weird to see. I was like, Jesus, why is she so upset with Mayor Pete?
So there's actually 4 of these people. If you had to vote for a Republican or Democrat, I would pick 4 of these people over Trump, unless Trump actually ended a war or pardoned Ross Ulbricht.
I don't know if I would pick them over Trump. Who are your 4? Who are your 4 that you pick over? Actually, no, let's say this for the end. Hold on. It's not time for specific questions yet. Okay. Oh, other thing I wanted to talk about, which really pissed me off. Did none of these fucking assholes know what the term justice means? Do they not know what the word means? Because they seem to add justice to anything they want to talk about and figure that it's some great point. Like economic justice. Economic justice is apparently people that get into fucking debt, people that go to college, people that take bad loans and then can't pay them off. They are somehow economically injusticed, and now the government has to fucking bail them out.
Yes, no.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that.
Yes, they don't know what the word means.
They don't know what they
justice is a nice word. It's like freedom.
Yeah,
think about it. Justice is to Democrats as freedom is to Republicans.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
If you think about it that way, then it makes sense.
When the Democrats are putting forth their war bills, they'll call everything.
Maybe they're saying
justice, and that'll be our freedom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe they're not saying.
Think about it that way. It makes perfect sense.
Maybe you misheard. Maybe they just keep saying just us. Just us.
Maybe. No, dude, that is a brilliant point by JB there. That I want to go through actually and see how many bills we can find that have freedom in the title that we can swap out justice for the Democrats. It would still make perfect sense.
Yeah.
Parties. I guarantee we can find a ton of them. So just be a new game. How about this? Howie, how about Cory Booker with a great jab right to Joe Biden's face on legal weed and then bringing up the drug war? That was the best moment of the night.
You're taking all my things like bots for like the funniest comment thing.
Oh, sorry. Well, I figure I'm running this shit, so I'm trying to give you guys topics to go off.
That was excellent. And again, Cory Booker is actually one of my 4, unless Trump legalizes weed. I mean, he's in the position. He can do it.
Cory Booker makes
if he doesn't,
facial expressions like Bill Cosby. It's ridiculous.
Cory Booker brought in the Yemen thing. I'm thinking maybe Cory Booker will end wars. Maybe Cory Booker will end the drug war. I don't know. Trump hasn't done any of that shit.
So what Cory Booker said that was hilarious. I'll put that in as my funniest moment. It was like, when you said that weed is a potential gateway drug, I thought you might have been high when you said it. And when he said that on stage, that's one of the few times I legitimately laughed out loud when I was watching that thing. I was like, I thought you were high when you said it. And I was like, yeah, exactly. Because you must be fucking high. Living in the 1920s. to think that what you just said is actually true.
Biden got so riled up. He was like screaming into the microphone, looking in the camera, like he was like a grandfather that like you touched his World War II pistol and shot his goldfish. He was like screaming into the camera.
Yeah,
I was waiting for him to get the blood eye again.
I know. I was rooting for it.
And it's good that he called Biden out for hiding behind his decriminalization bullshit, because decriminalization doesn't mean legal. Yeah. Like, weed is decriminalized in Philly. That still means that someone can take it from me and fine me. I just won't go to jail. Because it's still a plant. It should be federally legal. And anyone that thinks otherwise is either a moron or living in the 1920s.
And there's people in jail from Biden's 94 bill.
Yeah, exactly. So all of this nonsense needs to end. And Biden did, Booker also did bring something up. It's already legal for the people with the money to get out of these minor drug crimes that mire people with no money and no resources who get caught up in the system and spiral out of any fucking potential productivity in their own lives or that of society over something that people with the means to get out of do all the fucking time.
You could say we even know somebody who got out of the circumstance like that.
I think you guys missed it.
I won't name him by name, but we know somebody that was pulled over and arrested with like 50 hits of acid, 100 ecstasy pills, and 3 8 balls. And not that we condone any of these actions officially, but he got off.
So I think you guys might have missed the closing statements, but
I missed half of them. They were
Biden opens up. He's like, I know we're talking about criticizing the federal government here, but I'm sure we're not talking about the 8 sterling years under Barack Obama.
Oh God, what an asshole!
Like,
he's still riding Obama's jock, hoping that'll get him the nomination.
When you destroyed Libya, and now
Obama's
there's
black because he's been riding his dick for the last few years, and that's a long dick.
and Obama won't even endorse him.
Dick riding. Have you guys ever watched the Boondocks?
Yeah.
Oh, not in a long time.
You know that show? But when Obama was electing, they do skits, of course, like most comedy cartoons do. And they had a song with Will.i.am called Dick Riding Obama. I suggest you guys listen to it. It's hilarious.
That's awesome. I read the comic book. I've only seen the show a couple of times.
Yeah, the show is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to get our closing thoughts or what?
Yeah. No. Well, let's do the question. So Howie, you said you had 4 people you would vote for over Trump. Who are they?
Unless he does certain things, which he still can do.
He might still.
Unless
I do think he's going to legalize weed.
Unless Trump, okay, if he legalizes weed, actually ends a war for real or pardons Ross Ulbricht, he's got me. But if he doesn't do any of those things, I would be more attracted if I had to pick a Republican or a Democrat to Tulsi Gabbard, Bernie Sanders, Andrew Yang, or Cory Booker. These are people that at least I feel are against war and against a drug war specifically too. That I don't know if I'm going to have some shitty status, whatever. Maybe one that'll do something good.
I don't know. I guess it's also they're not really talking about things like regulation. You know, and Trump ran on that platform, so they worry about them regulating the shit out of things. Like, you know, Tulsi Gabbard's a huge environmental warrior, so she could really fuck shit. I mean, we don't have
right. Oh yeah. She said a lot of awful things, but listen, she's against the wars. She's against the spying on American citizens. She's against the drug war. These are all huge, huge things.
No,
I think there are things that the president has more control over.
True. Like, I think Elizabeth Warren would be very dangerous if she had a Democratic House and Senate.
She's the worst. Elizabeth Warren's the.
I think Kamala Harris is the worst. But
really, I think Elizabeth Warren's way worse than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris.
I put a note of Elizabeth Warren with the terms that when it came to the abortion debate, as it always does, and granted, I am pro-choice and I'm unabashedly pro-choice. Come fight me, whatever. Fuck you. Come fight me. But
wait, are you pro-choice as far as like? But do you believe in a limit as far as like if it's?
What about after?
We're not going to talk. We're not going to get into it now. I just want to say.
What about after birth?
Fight me. All I'm saying is fight me. All right.
Can we just say? I just want to see if I can.
Next to you before, I feel pretty confident.
JB, I just want to see if I can separate you from my governor. What about after the baby's born?
What? That is my answer to that.
Yeah, no,
that is my answer to that question.
My governor, the governor of Virginia, says, "Well, after it's born, we'll have a discussion with the doctor.
I speak a language. It's called English, and what you have just asked me is not an abortion.
Yeah, well, in Virginia it is.
Right? Yes, I would.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, what?
But the governor of my state's trying to.
But what I was saying about that is, I wrote down just a quip. It's like, it's Senator Warren thinks abortion is the one place that the government shouldn't step into.
Yeah.
From her performance in this debate, that's the one place that government shouldn't control your life. Everywhere else, it should be 100% in control.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
See, I never win this
except
argument.
there, of course.
I do also disagree with another point, though. She's like, rich women will keep getting abortions, not the poor. I'm like, no. Everyone's going to keep getting abortions. They're just going to die at a far higher rate.
Yeah, rich people will still be getting regular abortions. Poor people will go back to coat hangers and backway alleys.
Yeah, getting pushed down the stairs. That's what's going to happen. So everybody's still getting their abortions, Elizabeth, but not in the best ways. Okay, so let's wrap this, and then we'll do our little bonus show discussion. Because I think this is almost an hour. Time flew. That was fast.
Yeah.
All right, so wrapping it up. What's the most libertarian moment you can think of from the debate? This is this camera. There we go. Howie, go.
I can't say it's a tie, whether it was Tulsi's anti-war stuff, especially her, we better not freaking send troops to Mexico to fight the cartels, that kind of stuff. But also, I was so impressed by seeing Bernie Sanders call out Saudi Arabia and Israel, or for Cory Booker talking about the drone bombing children in Yemen. There were some good points in this debate. My wife came down. She's like, "Are you super bored yet?" I'm like, "I don't know. A lot of people just said some shit that was surprising to hear. I'm happy to hear."
The debate really got better as it went along, for sure. JB, what about you? What's the most libertarian moment?
Yeah, contrary to other debates, I guess people had the time to talk. I had several, and most of them were mirrored by Howie because he didn't pick one. He said like 5.
Yeah, I know. Howie. Yeah, thanks for fucking things.
Okay, well, I'm going to go pee real quick. You guys talk about yours.
Great.
So I would say, I really highlighted when, he mentioned, he went to task on Saudi Arabia, and I brought that up with Iran. If we're going to have any foreign policy, our foreign policy should be that of the bringing people together to solve their conflicts, not choosing sides and funding wars and funding a side and giving them weapons so that they could fight their own personal conflict over objective nonsense. We should be bringing people together. That should be our job as the quote unquote most powerful world. I thought that was a very libertarian principle here to facilitate, understanding and peace, not to just bankroll a side like this is some fucking gambling ring or something like that.
Yeah.
I also like pretty much a lot of Tulsi's opening statement, which is again anti-war. If we're looking for libertarianism in the Democratic debate, it's going to almost exclusively center around their policies towards war. Right?
Yeah, the drug war. Yeah, that's. Mine is the same thing. It's going to be Cory Booker talking. And Cory Booker for me, he had the most libertarian moment. And it was all contained within, I think, roughly the same speech, where he was talking about the war in Yemen, killing children, how this is just a absolute abomination, and then ending the drug war and how it's disproportionately affected brown people. He called them brown and black people. And those are very libertarian points. That speaks exactly the biggest concern.
And the same thing with Sanders. I mentioned he voted against pretty much every war he could vote against as being a senator. But one thing that was not to do with war that I thought was libertarian is that Yang brought up something that was pretty interesting. It's like he mentioned a sociological study where 2/3 of educational attainment is based at home. Mm-hmm. And I know homeschooling is very much a libertarian thing. And
there you go.
Really, a lot of the things like being Dr. Science, I'm not going to lie. I learned a lot of things from public school. I didn't go to bad public schools. Luckily, I had the fortune of growing up with Long Island with high property taxes and new books and good schools.
Yeah.
So I went to good schools because I lived in fucking Long Island. But I would not be where I was or nearly as smart as I was if I didn't have a solid home system with books and people who told me to fucking study and do my homework and to focus on the things that matter and gain educational attainment. Home is where it really begins. And
it is.
Home is where everyone is molded. And I think that's the most foundational libertarian principle at all. It's the family structure and the individual. It's like home is where everything begins.
Family structure. It's not just homeschooling.
It's all about family structure.
Statistically, the best outcomes are always from people that have, stable 2-parent households, where you're not getting upset. That leads to the best economic outcomes. Like the best way to predict if someone's going to leap up a level economically is a stable family household.
Yeah. And he mentioned that 2/3 that studies say comes from the home. It doesn't come from private schools or charter schools or public schools. Yeah. It comes from the philosophy and ethics and like ethos of the home where you come from.
Yep.
And that makes perfect sense. And I think that's a very libertarian principle.
Fuck yeah, it is. All right. So let's go on to, I think the most status moment. We probably, for me, it was probably either Elizabeth Warren and everything she said. Everything on housing, everything on college, everything she said was the worst. But otherwise, I will call it Tom Steyer, as I mentioned earlier, for his environmental Hitlerism of declaring a state of emergency. So anybody,
Steyer wanted, it was one of my most stated. Steyer he mentioned at one point, forcing towns and municipalities to build homes that they didn't want and couldn't presumably afford. He was going to force them to do it because those homes were needed. Yeah. I was like, what? What are you talking? Like, how are you going to force a city to build homes?
He just flies in with a fully built apartment building and drops it on top of a parking lot. He crushes a Best Buy and he's like, I have given you homes.
I agree with you guys. He's the most status. And how do you even get in this? Is he just because he's a billionaire? Just buy his way in?
Running ads. Dude, I see his ads in California a lot. A lot. I see his ads.
But he's from California. He hasn't made a blip out here.
No.
Not in Virginia.
The first I realized he was running is when he went on the Daily Show.
Oh, the Daily Show. Why do you even watch the Daily Show?
I don't watch it. I listen to it sometimes.
Not worth your time. All right, next question. Quickie 2. Who helped themselves the most? Who hurt themselves the most? I don't need to hear 10 seconds on why. No long diatribes. Howie, go. Howie's staring off into nothing.
You start with Howie.
I know, because I wanted to because he was literally like this.
I don't think I could...
staring off at nothing.
I don't think I could answer for the Democratic listeners, but for myself, I think Cory Booker helped himself with me the most with the Yemen thing and his drug war rant. I kind of just wrote him off as like, oh, why is he even running? But I'm like, wow, he's got actually some good ideas. He helped himself with me, I could say at least the most. And hurt themselves the most? I guess Tom Steyer, even though I barely even registered him as anything. But that was some crazy shit he was talking, and I would no way would ever want him to be commander-in-chief.
Yeah. What about you, JB?
Well, this is going to be super short because I pretty much agree with Howie 100%. Like, I'll start with the negative. I barely knew who Tom Steyer was before this debate, but now I know he's a shithead. So he definitely did the worst for it, as far as I'm concerned. Because everyone else on the debate stage, bar him, I pretty much know what they're about, you know?
Yeah.
But and as far as was that Cory Booker? Yeah, he at least made me laugh probably the most, you know, and he did bring home a little bit of the libertarian principles. He's still very much a status. Mm-hmm. Very much a status.
I would like to say though, I think that Biden, Warren, Buttigieg, Harris, and Klobuchar all had bad performances, and we'll see their numbers drop.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you think so?
For sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I think.
Okay.
I can't say for the general Democrats, but I will have to agree with Howie on both counts. I think Booker got the most plus points from me tonight, and Steyer got the least.
I think I agree with you guys that Booker, for sure, I think improved the most. I will say that for me, there were a lot of shitty performances, but I'm going to go with Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden really came up shitty here. I mean, I think he got his clock cleaned by Booker pretty good. I think that whole ridiculous punching women thing is going to get blown up, and media are going to talk about that.
I thought it was hilarious though, and I feel like he did it on purpose.
Yeah,
is that just me, or did he do it on purpose?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. And him like, when the next president tweet, never mind.
No, I don't mean initially. I think he caught on that what he was doing, like how it could be perceived, and he just doubled down on it.
Like,
is that just me? That after he realized he doubled down, did you not feel that?
Today is his 70s. Today's his 77th birthday. He is too old.
Well, yeah, I think he really hurt himself today. I think Elizabeth Warren was like nothing. Yeah. All right. So who's the next to drop out? We'll finish on that, and then we'll go and do a little bit of bonus 10 minutes of bonus show for our pride.
I think Klobuchar's out, and her staff is going to suffer greatly. They're in for a beating.
She like lines the hallway with tacks and nails so that they walk out after she fires them. They have to walk across it. JB, what do you think?
I think probably how many am I picking here?
You can pick a few if you want.
If I picked a second, I'd pick Steyer.
Steyer is definitely out. I don't know. I don't think he did anything to endear himself to Democrats tonight. I don't know if you guys noticed. Everyone but even the fact that he has money is enough for him not to win this nomination right now. So I think Steyer most definitely will be the first out, and I'd probably go after Amy. She's way too moderate. She's probably like what a Democrat used to be, like 1993. Yeah, that's what Amy Klobuchar is. So I don't think she's prime for the times right now. So I'd probably be my second.
I think Tulsi's going to rise. I think Steyer's going to stick around because people have just seen him. He's advertising like a motherfucker. He is running so many ads that I think he'll pick up a little bit of speed.
Because he has money. And he's from California. He's not. I don't know how much of a wave he's making out over here.
I know.
I think he's still polling at like 0 or 1 in California.
Well, I'm just saying. I think he'll stick around because he'll spend enough money too. I actually could see Kamala Harris dropping. I could see her dropping out soon.
I don't think she has more than one more debate in her.
I don't think she does. Yeah,
I don't even know how she's hanging on this long as it is.
I don't either. I don't get it. She brings nothing of value.
Of all the establishment hacks up there, she's by far the worst.
Terrible. It's terrible.
By far the worst. It's not even close. She's
honestly,
the worst.
Is it sad that I'm rooting? Cory Booker's like, I don't have enough polling numbers to get the next debate. I need help. I'm like, well, I'm rooting for you to get in now, Cory.
Dude, I tell you guys what. A lot of these people are going to drop out. And if Tulsi Gabbard stays in, the Democratic Party will never support her. But if it's just her versus a couple of these people, the American people might come around to her.
Yeah, hopefully.
She's got a shot. She needs a lot of luck and a lot of really good performance.
She has a shot if she can survive. If she can survive to the first primaries, she might have a shot. If
she gets down to when there's like 4 of them, she definitely won't get the support of the media, the DNC, but she might get the support of the people, and we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, she may have a shot at actually upsetting Trump. I can't see any. Oh, yeah. She's the only one of them that I think could even possibly. Maybe Cory Booker. He's got the facial expressions to rival Trump. I'll give him that. Maybe Yang. Jumps up there. Maybe Yang too. Cory Booker's like, I don't know that I want that. Actually, I probably would. I don't know. All right. Well, let's end it on that. Gentlemen, cheers. Good job. Oh, wait. Was this the bonus show or are we doing the bonus show? No. We're going to go into that was the end of the. We're wrapping it up. That was the end of the bonus show? I'm going to air my grievances about ELL. Yeah, we're going to get number 2 something or another, whatever it is. I thought we were going to talk about impeachment. Yeah, that's part of my airing of the grievances. Okay. Yeah, well, we're doing it on the bonus show. This is done now. All right, thank you guys for listening. Thanks to Howie. Thanks to JB. Thank you all for listening to our special Thursday episode here of Electric Liberty Land, suffering through these debates. So from me, Brian McWilliams, from JB Lubin, from Howie Snowdon, from the Lions of Liberty, and from Electric Liberty Land, always stay plugged into Liberty.